the thrilling indoor coaster, Slaves Escape, you ride in an underground railroad car while fleeing your pursuers at over 50 miles per hour. This ride focuses on the indoor environments created by our building team to propel you into an intense, immersive roller coaster of what it would be like to be an escaping slave. This ride is important because it illustrates the Underground Railroad, which was the only way to get out of slavery, essentially, before the Civil War and the Emancipation Proclamation. On the attraction Cotton Pick Challenge, you and a partner get into a handcar and paddle yourselves to the opposite end of the cornfield. If you get to the other end before the time is up, you get a free entree at Plantation Mansion. If you lose, though, you will be treated to the ride operator's whip. This attraction is significant to the history of slavery because slaves would be worked extremely hard in places like the cotton field, and if they did not meet their usual production standards, they would be punished severely. If you just happen to be in Plantation Meadows, and you just happen to be hungry, you should eat at Plantation Mansion. In this extremely formal southern eatery, you can get such selections as the Snooty Steak, Slave Salmon, Voracious Vegetarian's Delight, and the Cotton Picker's Pork. On the action-packed indoor gun ride, Guns O' Gettysburg, you pick a side and get ready for the most intense battle of your life. Aim your electro flintlock at animatronic dummies to hit their electric targets to get points for your army. At the end of the ride, the Confederate side and the Union side are put parallel to each other for a final shootout. If you're hit by the other team, you lose points. The winner of this ride is the team that gets the most points. This ride is historically significant because it describes the Battle of Gettysburg. The Battle of Gettysburg took place from July 1st to July 3rd, 1863. The Union Army was being led by General George Meade and was stronger in numbers than the Confederate Army was, being led by General Robert E. Lee. While the Union had more people, the Confederates had more willpower, and the casualty count was around the same for both sides. Both armies battled fiercely, but in the end, the Union's strategy proved stronger and pushed the Confederates back out of Pennsylvania. This was the turning point in the war, as the Confederates would never launch an offensive attack again in the war. On the exciting Meade vs. Lee coaster, you pick to either ride the Union or Confederate coasters as they tangle an intricate battle over the Gettysburg section. This coaster has 6 loops, 12 coasters, and 3 upside-down drops per side, reaching top speeds of up to 90 miles per hour. This is the Coaster Lover's Delight. This ride is significant because it entails the struggle between the two somewhat unequally matched generals. Meade was a captain when the Civil War started and was promoted to brigadier general a few months after the war started due to good recommendations from his troops around him. Although Meade's near singular victory was at Gettysburg, he was still regarded as one of the greater generals in the Civil War. Robert E. Lee, on the other hand, had a large number of victories, including the Battle of Chancellorsville, the Battle of Fredericksburg, and the 7 Days Battles. Where can you see a quality play that describes President Lincoln's life? In Land O'Lincoln's Lincoln's Dinner Theater and Ford's Theater, of course. In this interactive reproduction of Ford's Theater, the play Lincoln's Life will be shown. The play lasts 2 hours and 20 minutes and chronicles Lincoln's life from birth to assassination. The play sometimes leaps off the stage to help the audience feel immersed. In the final scene, Box 7 of the reproduction of Ford's Theater is used in the gripping assassination scene. Lincoln is played by Antonio Banderas, and John Wilkes Booth is played by Robin Williams. This play is historically significant to the Civil War time period because it helps you understand who Lincoln was from birth to death, so you can better understand the choices he made while in office about the Civil War. This also helps you imagine how horrific the assassination was. During the intermission at Lincoln's Dinner Theater, you can pick yourself up some dinner. Here are some of the selections off the Lincoln's Dinner Theater menu. The Lincoln's Love Combo Platter, Commander-in-Chief's Corn Chowder, Assassin's Apricots, and the Penny and 5 Pancakes. At the Booth Election Shootout, you pay $6 per play to shoot your ballots into the ballot box while playing against several other people. If you get the most ballots into the ballot box, you win a big stuffed Abraham Lincoln. If you lose, though, you feel the pain of your wallet tingling. This attraction is significant because it illustrates how close the 1860 election between Lincoln and other political candidates like Douglas, Breckinridge, and John Bell really was. Lincoln only won this because of his strong support from the North. In fact, Lincoln was not even on the ballot for 9 of the southern states, and by the time he was president, most of the South had never even heard of him. How could anybody make a Land O' Lincoln without having President Lincoln himself? Our Lincoln wears his trademark black top hat while waving to you happily. Lincoln was born on March 4, 1861, into a modest home in Hardin County, Kentucky. He spent his childhood moving constantly with his family. Lincoln had many jobs as a youth, which gave him the experience to be a politician and a lawyer. When Lincoln was 51, he was elected President of the United States after a heated election against people like Stephen A. Douglas, John C. Breckinridge, and John Bell. Lincoln was assassinated on April 15, 1865. Lincoln was known as one of the greatest presidents in American history. I hope you've enjoyed your tour of Two Flags America. Thanks for watching.